Another day, another story. As NASA's rover Curiosity continues the quest to find life on Mars, explore 5 key events that piqued the public interest in the red planet. Martian Mania refers to the widespread fascination, speculation, and cultural interest in the possibility of life on Mars. This phenomenon has its roots in the late 19th century and has continued to captivate the public imagination throughout the 20th and 21st centuries. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Late 19th century, Percival Lowell and Canals on Mars, 1877 to 1916. The origins of Martian Mania can be traced back to the late 19th century when astronomer Percival Lowell observed what he believed to be a network of canals on Mars. Lowell's interpretations, however, were later debunked, as advancements in telescopic technology revealed that what he saw were likely optical illusions. Despite the scientific skepticism, Lowell's ideas fueled public imagination about the possibility of intelligent life on the red planet. Golden Age of Science Fiction, 1920s-1940s. The period between the 1920s and 1940s, known as the Golden Age of Science Fiction, saw a surge in Martian-themed science fiction literature. Writers like Edgar Rice Burroughs with his Barsoom series and H.G. Wells with The War of the Worlds contributed to the growing fascination with Mars as a potential host for exotic civilizations and interplanetary conflicts. Space race and Mariner missions, 1950s-1970s. The mid-20th century brought about significant advancements in space exploration. The space race between the United States and the Soviet Union intensified public interest in the cosmos, including Mars. The Mariner missions, launched by NASA in the 1960s and 1970s, provided the first close-up images of the Martian surface, dispelling some of the earlier myths and paving the way for more accurate scientific understanding. Viking missions and the search for life, 1970s. In 1976, NASA's Viking 1 and Viking 2 landers successfully touched down on Mars. These missions conducted experiments to search for signs of microbial life in the Martian soil. While the results were inconclusive, the missions marked a significant step in the exploration of Mars. Pathfinder, Spirit, Opportunity, and Curiosity, 1990s present. In the 1990s and 2000s, NASA continued its exploration of Mars with missions like Pathfinder, which deployed the Sojourner rover, and later missions like Spirit, Opportunity, and Curiosity. These rovers provided invaluable data about Mars' geology and history, contributing to the understanding of the planet's potential habitability. Elon Musk and the vision for Mars colonization, 21st century. In the 21st century, entrepreneur Elon Musk and his company SpaceX brought renewed attention to Mars by proposing ambitious plans for human colonization. Musk's vision, outlined in the Interplanetary Transport System, ITS, and later the Starship project, fueled public interest in the idea of establishing a human presence on Mars. The history of Martian Mania is marked by a combination of scientific discoveries, speculative fiction, and visionary proposals for future exploration. As technology advances and new missions continue to explore Mars, the fascination with the red planet is likely to persist, shaping both scientific inquiry and popular culture. The War of the Worlds, 1898, H.G. Wells' classic science fiction novel, The War of the Worlds, became a seminal work that fueled Martian Mania. The story depicts a Martian invasion of Earth, creating a sense of fear and fascination with the idea of extraterrestrial life. Orson Welles' radio adaptation in 1938 famously caused panic among some listeners who believed the fictional account to be a real news broadcast. Canals on Mars, Percival Lowell's observations of canals on Mars captured the public's imagination and led to widespread speculation about an advanced Martian civilization. Artists depicted elaborate canal networks, and popular culture embraced the idea of intelligent beings capable of engineering such structures. The canal concept, however, was eventually debunked by more accurate observations. Mars in popular culture. Throughout the 20th century, Mars featured prominently in various forms of popular culture. Comics, films, and television shows often portrayed Mars as a mysterious and potentially dangerous world. Martian creatures, from benevolent beings to hostile invaders, became iconic figures in science fiction. Mariner 4's impact, 1965. NASA's Mariner 4 mission, launched in 1964, was the first spacecraft to successfully fly by Mars and transmit close-up images. The pictures revealed a cratered and barren landscape, challenging earlier ideas of a lush, habitable planet. This mission marked a turning point in our understanding of Mars and paved the way for more realistic depictions in both science and fiction. Face on Mars, 1976. During the Viking 1 mission in 1976, an image of the Martian surface captured what appeared to be a humanoid face. Dubbed the Face on Mars, this image sparked speculation about ancient civilizations and extraterrestrial monuments. Subsequent higher-resolution images, however, revealed the feature to be a natural rock formation. Rovers and discoveries. The deployment of rovers like Spirit, Opportunity, and Curiosity allowed scientists to explore Mars in unprecedented detail. Discoveries of ancient lake beds, evidence of past water, and the potential for microbial life have further fueled scientific interest and expanded our understanding of Mars history. Mars in film. Mars has been a popular setting for numerous films, ranging from the thrilling The Martian, 2015, based on Andy Weir's novel, to the classic Total Recall, 1990, which explores themes of colonization and terraforming. These films often reflect both scientific knowledge and speculative ideas about Mars. SpaceX's mission to Mars. Entrepreneur Elon Musk's vision for Mars colonization, articulated through SpaceX's Starship project, has rekindled public enthusiasm for the Red Planet. Musk's ambitious goal of establishing a human settlement on Mars has sparked debates about the feasibility and ethics of such endeavors. The story of Martian Mania is a fascinating blend of scientific exploration, fictional narratives, and the human imagination. As new missions, technologies, and discoveries continue to shape our understanding of Mars, the allure of the Red Planet is likely to persist, inspiring generations to come. 1. Giovanni Schiaparelli sees channels on the surface of Mars in 1877, and speculation runs rampant that intelligent beings created them. What a difference a word makes! When Italian astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli peered through his telescope in 1877 to view the surface of Mars in detail, he noticed lines crisscrossing the planet like channels of water. And that is how he described those lines, as canali, which in Italian simply means channels, in the sense of riverbeds or arroyos. That single, innocent word, canali, was mistranslated into English as canals, implying structures built to shunt water in one direction or another. Canals could only be created by intelligent life forms. Did Schiaparelli's observation hint that alien canal builders lived on Mars? Bostonian Percival Lowell thought so. He spent his life trying to prove that a utopian society existed on our interplanetary neighbor and published frequently on the subject. Lowell died long before the first photos of Mars would show no man-made canals, or any other signs of an erstwhile utopian civilization. But Lowell's fanaticism sparked a lingering public love affair with the idea that life could thrive on Mars. 2. Nikola Tesla hears a Martian murmur in 1899. The current NASA Mars mission owes a debt to Nikola Tesla for his inventions of the robot and radio remote control for guided vehicles. He may also have cemented the public's belief in life on Mars by announcing that he'd received communications from the planet at his laboratory in Colorado Springs. While conducting experiments on high-frequency electrical transmission in 1899, Tesla picked up cosmic radio waves on his instruments. Announcing this development, he publicly opined that the messages came from outer space, possibly from inhabitants of Mars. In a Collier's Weekly article dated February 19, 1901, Tesla wrote, "At the present stage of progress, there would be no insurmountable obstacle in constructing a machine capable of conveying a message to Mars. What a tremendous stir this would make in the world. How soon will it come?" Later discoveries revealed that Tesla had actually picked up common radio waves emitted by interstellar gas clouds. 3. The Martians are coming. Panic ensues in 1938 when a radio drama goes awry. As a novel, The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells entered the literary scene relatively quietly. Initially serialized in 1897 in Pearson's magazine, the novel itself was published in 1898 to critical and public success. The book received renewed interest in 1938 when the young Orson Welles, who would later become an iconic actor and director, chose to adapt the novel into a radio drama to be performed the night before Halloween. Eschewing a standard storytelling format, Wells opted to structure the story as a series of realistic news bulletins that described an attack on New Jersey by aliens from Mars. The performance proved so realistic that people literally panicked in the streets. In a New York Times article dated October 31, 1938, Louis Winkler of the Bronx told a reporter, "I didn't tune in until the program was half over, but when the Secretary of the Interior was introduced, I was convinced it was the McCoy. I ran out into the street with scores of others, and found people running in all directions." Perhaps more than any other single event, Wells' broadcast fueled the public's fascination with the Red Planet and the possibility of detecting intelligent life there. 4. Nothing to see here. In 1965, an unmanned probe sends back the first pictures of Mars, which show no signs of life on the planet. On November 28, 1964, NASA launched the Mariner 4 unmanned space probe to take flyby photos of the Red Planet. On July 14, 1965, those images returned to Earth, showing a pockmarked planetary surface devoid of any structures or other signs of past or present habitation. In 1969, NASA launched the Mariner 6 and Mariner 7 probes to make additional observations of the Martian landscape. Hundreds of photos revealed a barren, dusty wasteland with no hints of life, quashing fears and hopes that aliens populated Mars. Earthlings' collective obsession with a Martian invasion faded, though debates continued among citizens and scientists alike about whether the planet had previously been inhabited. 5. A meteorite offers tantalizing evidence for life on Mars in 1996. After the Mariner space probe missions of the 1960s established that Mars harbored no alien marauders poised to attack Earth, interest in the issue of life on Mars died down. The consensus seemed to be not only that Mars didn't support life in the present, but also that it never had in the past. That philosophy changed in 1996, when the publication of a paper in Science magazine suggested a meteorite from Mars contained the biomarkers of primitive life forms. A group of NASA scientists wrote that their analysis of meteorite ALH 84001 showed possible microfossils of primitive bacteria, a finding that would mean life, at least in some form, once existed on Mars. The report caused a sensation in the popular and scientific press, and the 63rd meeting of the Meteoritical Society in 2000 devoted a pair of special sessions solely to the discussion of ALH 84001. Some scientists maintained that the meteorite had been contaminated after landing on Earth, which would account for the hydrocarbons, an indicator of decomposed organic matter, found on it. Others produced evidence supporting the conclusions of the NASA scientists. At the time the paper was published, the news channel CNN devoted an entire special section of its website to the controversy, which it called the biggest discovery in the history of science. Once again, the tantalizing prospect of life on Mars had managed to capture the public's imagination. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.